Hey, how's it going, you guys? It's petplatypus here, and it's time to review a couple more episodes of The Legend of Korra. Book 3, The Metal Clan. This is actually a really awesome episode. We get Korra with Beifong and everything, and they end up going to this place, this metal city, and Beifong doesn't want to be there, and there's obviously a history there, but he doesn't want to be there, and they end up going, and they meet this really cool dude who can do, like, he could feel the vibrations to where if you're lying or not. And he basically says, why'd you lie about having another person with you? And they're like, how'd you know? And it's like, it's chief of police. And then it's like, oh, I'm your sister. And I saw this chick and the dance instructor or whatever. And immediately I thought she was related to Beifong because Beifong didn't want to be there. And this chick, I believe Sue maybe been her name. I'm not sure. She was there and she looked just like her. She had the same hair color and eye color. And I was like, oh, that's probably her sister. And it was. And they had some kind of family bad blood history going on. We get to see their family, the daughter, and she has a thing for Lin, which is kind of funny. Yeah, really cool. Toph is apparently alive. That's awesome. I hope we see Toph in the future. That's amazing. But let's see, what else do we have going on in this episode? Varric comes back. Fucking, this guy just shows up when you don't expect him to show up. He just walks in. It's the best. I love this guy. So he was kind of funny, and he's helping out Beifong's sister, and we see more hints about their, family life or whatever, the sister ends up telling Korra about how Toph was a very open... Oh, by the way, Toph had 2 different husbands. I'm like, whoa, Toph, you're getting around, girl. I guess, but, anyways. But yeah. She has the 2 daughters, and she basically let them live in a very free environment to grow up in, which makes a lot of sense because Toph grew up in a very sheltered, strict environment, overprotected, so that makes a lot of sense. I really like that. So yeah, that was cool. And then on the other side of the story, we have the air temple, and people are practicing, and they're not very good, but this new recruit shows up, and he had a scar on his eyebrow that looked like the scar that one villain dude, I think Zahir is his name. But I was like, oh, whatever, same place, scar. Because there's no way he could change his appearance, right? Well, apparently he fucking did. And he gets in this epic, I wasn't that great of a fight, but I was surprised how beastly... what's her name? Kaya, I think her name is, Aang's daughter, she's a waterbender. She was a pretty beastly waterbender. That was some good shit. That surprised me. And we get some White Lotus dudes, and they get their asses kicked, and he escapes. But yeah, I'm wondering how he was able to change his appearance like that. That's very interesting, and it's just so cool how so many people know who this guy is. Like, there's so much hype surrounding these 4 dudes. It's really got me interested in what their whole story is and why they want to kill Korra and the Avatar and everything. But, yeah, so that's really interesting. And Beifong's story is interesting, too, because I kind of figured there was more to it. It's not just Beifong being a bitter, lonely woman or whatever. There's definitely more to it because she cries at the end. And I love how we're getting these character development episodes. We got Mako and Lin, and now we're getting, Lin Beifong. It's really, really awesome. So yeah, one thing that's also one of the running themes of this season is little romances. Has anyone noticed? Like, we got like Kai and Jinora, and now we have Lin and whatever her name is, the daughter who learned airbending, which is why they're at the city. City's epic, by the way. The city looks fucking awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire episode. I really like the stuff with Zahir and the air temple, and that fight was cool. We kind of find out that he's studied a lot of airbending, types of stuff, which is probably why he's so good at airbending, with just learning it recently. So that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty great episode. I'll go 8 out of 10. Good insight into Beifong's character. The stuff with Toph was awesome. Just the fact that we might see Toph is great. But yeah, anyways, I'll go 8 out of 10. It was a very good episode of Korra, and now we'll talk about the next episode. Okay, you guys, so episode 6 of The Legend of Korra Season 3. This was another really, really strong episode for Beifong's character. So, we get her still mad about everything, and she ends up going to this acupuncture thing, and it unlocks memories, and, it's cool how he does, like, metal bending acupuncture, and we get little flashbacks of her with her sister, and how her sister was, rolling with the wrong crowd, and how all Beifong wanted to do was, police her mother and be a police chief, and that didn't really get their mom happy. We got to see adult Toph, which was cool. But yeah, she's rolling with the wrong crowd, and this is why Lin Beifong does not like her. We get a little bit more Bolin and Opal, that's her name, romance. We get Korra learning how to metal bend, which is really cool. I think that's a cool little addition to her skill set. And it's cool that she's still learning an element, because like she learned air, and it's like, oh well, she mastered all the elements. I like how she learned like the branching off element. But yeah, that was cool. We get the bad guys doing their bad guy thing. They hijack this car. They end up having to bail. Really, excuse me, I guess I'm tired. We don't really get much of them, honestly. It's like the main thing with them at the end is when they, when the one main dude says that she's with the Metal Clan, and you have to wonder how he knows where she is, and I think it's because he probably has that out-of-body spirit thing that Jinora has, and that'd be pretty interesting. We get Varric with this big armor magnetic suit. Fucking Varric. I love this guy. He's hilarious. But yeah, the flashbacks, we get more flashbacks later on, and what they end up leading to is there was this criminal chase, and fucking Sue was part of it, and Lin was ready to arrest her sister and do her job, and then she cuts the wire, and we see that that's how she gets the cut on her cheek, whichever cheek it was. I know which cheek it is, but I mean, everything's all flipped because of the way I'm recording. But anyways, she gets the cut on the cheek. Very good animation as the wire approaches her and she kind of shifts her body. That was really, really fluid animation. But yeah, I thought maybe the scar had something to do with it, and I'd be like, oh, that's a really heavy backstory. And it's kind of a heavy backstory. She's told, Sue was told to leave the city, and she's kind of glad she did, and she ends up building, the metal place or whatever, but, yeah. Then they end up getting in a fight, which was, a pretty cool battle, honestly. Cool metal bending. The one son, the artist's son, how he sees his thing got all destroyed, and he's like, wait, maybe it looks better. That was a really funny joke. That was really clever. Bolin was really funny when he was just hiding behind the rock, and he's just like, they're like, Bolin, is that you? And he's like, no. Like, it was hilarious. And yeah, like I said, a little bit more romance with Opal, and she basically doesn't want to displease her mother, but then Lin kind of thinks about everything, and she wakes up and she's like, I tried to please my mom, and she just gives her kind of that little heart-to-heart to her her niece. And then Opal decides to go to the temple, so that's cool. Yeah, and then the bad guys know where they are, so we'll have to see where that goes. They're probably going to leave fairly soon, I'd imagine, so hopefully we don't see a bunch of, hopefully we don't see, the family, her sister's family get fucked up by the fucking bad guys. That'd be kind of sad, because they all seem kind of nice. I mean, the two teenage boys are just kind of idiots, but whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole episode, and I thought it was really enjoyable. We got really good development for Lin, and really good, I like that the sister was changed. I liked how she wasn't still the way she used to be, and it was just Lin who thought she was. I like that angle, because they could have gone with an angle where it's like, oh, it turns out the sister is still all fucked up, but I like that it wasn't the case. What else happened? Yeah, Korra learned how to metal bend. That's good progression for her combat scheme. And yeah, there was just character development. Bolin talking about how he's tried metal bending before and he couldn't do it, and it's embarrassing, and just because we don't really get much out of Bolin other than comedy, so it's good to see a little bit more out of his character. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a pretty damn enjoyable episode. I'll probably set this around the same score as the last one, an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a very good episode. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes of The Legend of Korra in the comments below. The season is already miles above Season 2 in terms of just character development and everything. Then yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.